Dear doTERRA family, welcome to our weekly webinar. I hope you're doing great and have some good times ahead. Please let me take you now exclusively to Utah. I am proud to present for the next webinar some amazing presentations from our Leadership Retreat 2022. Watching these films, you can learn, feel excited, and get connected. Imagine you will be there like watching it from the very first row. I would suggest to get something to write notes, some refreshing drinks, and last but not least, turn on your diffuser and use your most loved oil. Please lean back, relax, and enjoy the trainings.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your founding executive, David Stirling.
Good afternoon. So good to be back with you. I was standing off to the side and watching this, and my heart was just full, and I just thought, it is so wonderful to be back together and to be with our friends again. And it's been a long time, hasn't it? It's been a long time. And thank you, Simone and Shannon, and we just love them. I can just tell you, I know I'm speaking for all of our staff and for all the founders when I just say we have butterflies, we have excitement. I thought about coming out here and doing what Seth Rizame did. He scared me a little bit. Did he scare you? Yeah, he might hurt himself, but or one of us. But anyway. I hope you're all excited to be here. I want to welcome those who are online watching as well that couldn't get here. I know it's a little tough to get here from Canada. I know a lot are watching from Canada and some other places, and so we welcome all of you. And I just had a few things to share and just kind of teeing things up this afternoon. We got a lot of material, a lot of information, and we're going to be fire hosing you, probably a little too much. But so get ready. Because we're excited to share what we have. This picture that you see up there, this was snapped, as it says there, March 12th, right as this event was taken off 2 years ago. I remember this meeting, we were actually deciding whether or not we should send all of our employees home, which we did. We sent like 85% of all our employees home like in a few days. It was crazy. It's crazy. And I remember this event, and we had a couple of semi-trucks already here with equipment. We had 150 employees here. We had 300 people coming from international markets around the world, and some of you, and we decided to pull the plug on this thing a day before. And at the time, things were changing hourly, if you remember. It was a little crazy. We didn't really know what was going on, and it was fortuitous that we'd canceled because we would have had to send 5,000 people home by law as soon as we would have started that day. So it's been a little crazy, hasn't it? The last 2 years have been difficult and challenging. Our heart goes out certainly to those who may have lost loved ones. I know that there are multiple people in this room who have lost people who are very close to them. And this has been hard. It's still hard in some places around the world, I know. We're fortunate that things are lifting here in the States. But I've felt like this pause button, this giant pause button that we've been experiencing for so long here is starting to lift. The pandemic is starting to lift. And we learned some things, didn't we? We all got a lot smarter. We learned that social media has built-in algorithms that are so good at turning our social media platforms into echo chambers, that just kind of reflect our views and things back to us and start to make others look like they're ridiculous or stupid if they think differently than we do. We learned some things. We've been talking about this for a long time. Compromise, of course, became a dirty word. It was hard. We've seen a lot of conflict in the last 2 years. We've seen more just disparity and conflict than I think any of us who are even alive today can remember, even older people in their lifetimes. It has been a challenge. We've learned. I hope we've learned. And you know, I love this statement, and that is, conflict is inevitable. It's going to happen. We're different. We come from different backgrounds. We come from different belief systems. And we certainly come from different experience. But contention is a choice that we make, isn't it? And I want to believe that all of us in here have grown a lot and have really learned some things. So, fear, we know that fear is not good. It's paralyzing. We know that it stops us. It kills hope. It kills joy. We've been trying to talk about faith and hope versus fear and despair. And I think a lot of you in this room are real agents for change and have been doing that within your teams, and we're grateful for that. You know, with the current things that we've seen, challenging times, and even some of the things that are happening now, I love this quote by President Lincoln. It says, "Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic chords of memory will yet swell when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature." You know, when he said this, it was in one of the most desperate times, perhaps the most desperate time we have ever experienced here in the United States. During that Civil War and during that great time of conflict, where so many lost their lives. And yet, as we look forward from that time, a lot of things happen, and good things happen. A lot of healings happened in the last couple of years, I think. I hope. I love this picture. Love this picture. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of healing that still needs to happen, but things came out that were underneath the surface in society that were being suppressed, and they were dealt with a little bit more openly. I know I learned a lot. I know I became far more aware of different pains that a lot of people are experiencing, and there has been progress. So today, we have this new terrible tragedy that's happening in the Ukraine. We have incredible disruption. The world is watching this. All of us are in this room, I'm sure, watching this with horror, and just it's making us heartsick. I just want to share a couple of thoughts here. First of all, I think all of you are aware of the intense effort that we've made to jump in and try to make this better. I think it is. We have been able to make an impact. We've raised over $700,000. More importantly than that, thank you, you guys. More importantly than that is we've been able to get it to where it can be used very effectively. That's important. That's because of people like yourselves. We have people that are on the ground that are getting the help where it's needed. We have infrastructure. We have relationships. And we were able to move quickly and try to get this help to these people. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this on Saturday and share some really neat examples. I'm going to give you a lot more detail on this. But I just want to share one other thought, and that is this. You know, when these kinds of conflicts happen, sometimes they get politicized, sometimes there's just poor intentions, bad intentions that people have in the world, and they want to paint all people as this way or this way. I was in Moscow in last October, coming through there, and spent some time with incredible people that we have there. I can tell you something. They are heartsick. Many of them are as heartsick as you are as you watch these things. These things are difficult for us. They're emotional. And I just want us all to keep that in mind, I hope, as this continues to play out. Now, we're a service-oriented company, aren't we? We've always been that way. We've always tried to reflect back. And Healing Hands and our sourcing efforts, they give us incredible opportunities. Some of you have had some of these opportunities to be able to go in this part of the world. There's change happening, I think you're aware of. And one of those changes is that my wife and I, youngest daughter, 16-year-old, probably not entirely, with her greatest desires, we are going to move to Yerevan, Armenia. And we've been called there to serve in Tbilisi in Georgia. We have in Yerevan. And this is I just want to maybe share with you a thought before, as I kind of close out here and go into my closing thoughts. 39 years ago, I used to fly small aircraft. 39 years ago, I was flying an airplane, a small airplane back from Las Vegas, and there was a squall line. You know what a squall line is? It's a bunch of storms that are lined up, and this squall line went for a very long distance, and I was coming back, and I thought, no, I don't want to go around that, because that'll take me an extra 30, 40 minutes, and I spotted an opening in this squall line. Now, squall line's a bunch of thunderstorms, and being 19 years old, I thought, I'll just scoot through there, and I'll make it to the other side. Well, I did that. And I got partway into that, and I found myself in a lot of trouble. And I knew that I was in a life and death situation as that small airplane was just being smashed from one side to another with all the winds. It was getting blown so hard that I was cracking my head on the ceiling, and it was just about knocked me out. So I was trying to fly with one hand and hold on to my seat to not hit my head on the ceiling with the other, and just exhausted trying to keep this up. And I could see the snow. I was very low to the ground. I could see the snow on the ground, the sagebrush down below, and I knew I was in trouble. And it's one of those situations where you make some promises, right? And I made some promises. One thing I promised that I'd quit my carefree life and go do what I was supposed to be doing. And at that time, for me, that was going on and serving a mission. And I did that, and that changed my life forever. Everything good that's happened to me since then has happened with that decision. And so it's an extension of a promise that I made way back then. You know, I had a thought come to mind a little while ago, and about a year ago, in my waking moments. I love the parable of the widow's mite. Many of you are familiar with that. And it's all about giving of our abundance versus giving of our want. And I realized that I give of my abundance, but I can't really give of my want. And it's time for my wife and I, for a period, a little sabbatical here, to go give of our want and to go serve people and to give of ourselves in a more direct manner. And that's one of the reasons that we're going, and we're going to do this. Now, Evolve, incredible convention that we're at, we have a fantastic team. And I'm going to talk more about this on Saturday too, but these two people are fantastic. You're going to hear from them here shortly. Corey Lindley is our new CEO. Emily Wright is our president. And Greg Cook is serving as our chairman of the board. We still have Dr. Hill here as well. You'll hear from him here in just a little bit. But I'm going to tell you, I am so grateful that they're willing to step up and to carry the load that they've been asked to carry, and so capable. I can't tell you how confident I am in our future as I look at this team. Remember, legacy that you have is what you pass on to others. The power of culture is everything. I love this picture. We've been talking about culture for a long time at doTERRA, haven't we? Been talking about it with you for a long time. This is a brand new little employee handbook. I know you can't really see it from here, but this is something we just give to all of our employees, hot off the press. We've been working on this for a couple of years now, really intensely, for the last 6 months. And it involves some things. We want them to be as engaged in what we're doing in doTERRA. We have more than 4,000 employees, corporate employees around the world now. And these things, these are some of the core values. Be legacy, be pure, be curious, be empowering, be leader-focused, be customer-obsessed. Now, you're going to hear a little bit more about some of these things today. And Emily and Corey are going to address some of these things, but I'm going to talk just briefly about the last two there. Just highlight a couple things. Be customer-obsessed. This booklet is going to be studied by our employees on a regular basis. And a couple of things just to highlight. I honor the importance of all customers. I understand that customer loyalty is my responsibility. I seek to delight customers at every interaction. I listen, and I have the aim of providing a frictionless experience. This is just a taste of what this is about. We want people all the way into our manufacturing, our finance people, our legal people, IT people, all areas. We want them to feel this connection. But here's the one I love even more, and that is about you as leaders. And that is helping our employees to really connect. People like Simone or Russell Butters or others, they get to connect with you, but many of our employees don't. We want them to understand how important what they're doing. It's one team. So there's some things like I recognize the vital role wellness advocates and wellness advocate leaders play. Their success is our success, or my success. They seek to make emotional connections. Treat each builder as an extension of our team. Helping leaders to find a way forward is my responsibility. We are working very, very hard. This is something I want you to understand that we're very intentional about. That this isn't just a fleeting thought. This is something that's part of that culture that we're going to drive extremely deep. Now, I want all of you to keep something in mind as you're listening to different people teach today, Friday, and Saturday, because we've got a great lineup for you. Your actions create your legacy, don't they? Your actions create your legacy. My hope is that you are always keenly aware of the power that each of you have to change the world. I hope that there are some of you sitting out there, perhaps online with us today, that will feel that will believe that you can be an agent for change. And just keep this in mind. I'm just thinking of a quote. Let's see if I can remember it here. And I'll share it with you, given many years ago by a man that has passed on, Boyd K. Packer. It goes like this. There is another kind of faith, rare indeed. This is the kind of faith that causes things to happen. It is the kind of faith that is worthy and prepared and unyielding, and it brings forth things that otherwise would not be. It is the kind of faith that moves people, and is the kind of faith that sometimes moves things. It is a marvelous, even a transcendent power. It comes by gradual growth, directed and focused. It has great effect. I hope there are those of you here today in this audience that will hear that will feel that will believe that you can be that agent for change. You can cause things to happen that otherwise wouldn't be. Thank you for coming and making the effort to be with us today. We are excited to be back with you. Thank you so much.